Hello everyone. Today we will cover a few number of topics. So let's see if all of them get covered in the one video. Otherwise I will make a separate video and the remaining topics will be covered in the others. So the topics are the efficiency in the parliament, and that's topic number 1. Number 2 is the transparency, foundational trust in the medicine, and the third topic is the democracy in the search of renewal, and the last topic is the meta staffing summoned in the India. So let's start with the first topic. It states that the parliament efficiency, disruptions, and the democratic accountability. So what is the core issue in it? That the parliamentary disruptions are happening. The last session which has happened, the only if we go by the numbers in the Lok Sabha, only 17.5 hours have been worked out of the 114 hours which have been scheduled. And if we see the math of it, the 96 hours of the Lok Sabha has been lost. In this, it's not even a half. And if we see the parliament's estimated cost of per sitting of the both houses, it accounts for 2.5 lakhs per minute. It is not only a financial loss, but it also accounts for the democratic loss, which is much larger in this picture. So what is the real cost? The unaccountable deficit. So first of all, as the sessions go, that the first of all comes the question hour, then comes the 0 hour. We will see by that. So in the question hour, the executive accountability, the ministers face the MP's question in the public issues. The disruption can prevent the direct scrutiny, allowing the executives to escape the questioning of the lifestyle issues. It is not only the problem of the opposition, the party which is in the power, it is also not very in it that it is doing something for the welfare of the people. There is so much of the legislative scrutiny and the executive accountability which is required at the current moment, so which is missing in this. So in the 0 hour is a Indian innovation. It follows just after the question hour and allows the MPs to raise the matters of the urgent public importance. So 0 hour involves the parliamentary convention rather than being the formally mentioned in the rules of the procedure. The persistent disruption can be drawn out of the representative voices. The legislative damage, what is covered in it, and the disruption hit sessions can result in the bill proceeding without the adequate debates. There is no debate if any topic is raised. Neither there is debate nor scrutiny of the committee examining it. So if there is less debate, then there is poor legislative deliberation about it. The paralysis is not inevitable, because when the parliamentary works, the 86% of the productivity is lost, and in the Rajya Sabha 92% of the productivity is lost. So it is just figures. Now we will see what is the shared responsibility, not the one-sided blame, because we can't blame just the government or just the opposition. Both are equitably responsible for that. The parliamentary dysfunctions cannot automatically attribute to only the opposition. So what's the responsibility of the government in this aspect? The scheduled parliamentary business transparently and in advance. The parliamentary business which happen in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, the both houses, they should be transparent, and the thing which it should be covering should be told in the advance. Avoid using the majority strength to push the legislative without the adequate debate. So proper debating should be done so that there is scrutiny in the particular matter, and the opposition's responsibility in this is that the minority status cannot become the permanent veto over the legislative functioning. The opposition must also debate, caution, and vote rather than relying exclusively on the disruptions. Because the demanding of the accountability while refusing the available form for obtaining the answer weakens the credibility of the dissent. So, what's the key insight in it? That the effective parliament requires accountability from the both the sides, and both of them are responsible for this parliamentary dysfunction. These are all the functions that only attending and coming to the parliament is not the performance. Is that if they are participating, even that also not attributes to the performance. So the MP should attend, disrupt, and still receive the allowance. That is not good. Because there is least productive parliamentary time, and it should be, if there is less time they are accommodating, so it should be made that they should be having the extensive sittings. So what are the structural reforms we have is written over here, that the four structural reforms are mandatory to maintain the public trust in the both the houses. So the reform number 1 is the make-up time principle. The lost productive parliamentary time should be compensated through the extensive sittings. Granted route to the debates. What does it signify? That the protests and the walkouts remain legislative, but there must not always be the route back to the substantive debating. There should be a real-time public dashboard so that the attendance should be publicly displayed, and the questions which are asked should be also available to the people. The performance linked allowance is very much necessary, as in the current status quo, that only even if they are not attending or participating in it, they still receive the allowances. But the reform should be made like that. The performance linked allowances should be there, so that it reflects the verified participation rather than the mere attendance. So now we will see the next topic. So the second topic is making transparency the foundation of the trust in the medicine. In the current scenario, the people are losing the trust from the medical institutions because they see that it is an opaque system. They are not informed properly what the examination of the patient is going on, which generates the mistrust and ultimately leads to the conflict or the violence. So what is the core issue in it? The trust in the healthcare is not only created inside the consultation room, it is shaped by the transparency, accountability, and the communication inside of the communication of the institution surrounding the patient. So this thing I just told you right now. So what is the trust? It is a common misconception that the trust is viewed as it is private bond between the doctor and patient, but in reality the thing is that the trust is built before the consultation itself through the transparency of the medical institutions. If the wider system is opaque, the individuals and in the individual doctor patient trust becomes difficult to sustain, because the trust is systematic, as you see, not merely a interpersonal. Now we will see the institutional transparency, which is the missing link. Institutional transparency, publicly accessible information about how the medical institution operate, the credentials, outcomes, and the complaints are merely a myth in the current scenario because they are opaque and there is no uh, information about the process which is been going. So as it is a case history in the Tamil Nadu Medical Council that the Tamil Nadu Medical Council portal requires an exact registration number to verify the doctor's credentials. If a common man goes to the government hospital, how can we say that he will know the exact registration number? So this kind of thing is lacking. Thus, a supposed possible digital system becomes difficult for the public to use. It means if we see that it only reveals that the government has digitally uploaded the all the data of the doctors, but in such a difficult way that it is unaccessible to the patients. There needs to be a reform in it, like the medical registration name search. It should be searched by the name, like the person's name is XYZ, so he can the patient can just put his name and find out rather than just typing his registration number, rather than a low cost high impact reform. It's so here are the few countries like the UK and the Canada. The UK maintains a public registers with the doctor's qualification, registration status, and any complaint if it registered against the doctor. It is publicly open, and in Canada also, they publish the open professional profiles of the doctors. In India, the NMC has been replaced by the MCI, the Medical Council of India, I guess in 2016, but the state medical council continue to have the uneven and the user unfriendly public portals. The NMC improved the regulatory oversight and the medical education, but the public facing transparency remains uneven. The India's challenge is moving from the regulatory reforms to the citizen-centric transparency. So let's see what are the way aheads in it. So the trust should be rebuilt. The framework for that is the transparency should be there, open communication should be there, and the participation of the public with the doctor, which will improve the trust. What is the function of the institution? It should be public, name searchable medical registers, accessible credentials. The complaint records should be openly for the presented for the people, better grievance mechanism, and the citizen-centric digital portals should be there. At the clinical level, the open disclosure of even after the errors, reduced information asymmetry, it should be reduced, adopt the shared decision making, and at the system level, identify the systemic design flaws rather than attributing every failure to the individual negligence.